such a proliferation of standalone restaurants today, and so many of them have to have a wine list. There's also been a lot of increase in home consumption. This was a trend that accelerated during the pandemic. Obviously, people could not go out, and you saw that in many households where traditionally they did not consume at home. Alcobev and wine started coming into the house. Wine is usually a little more acceptable than spirits in some milieus. There's been a lot of premiumization among consumers, and wine has been one of the beneficiaries of this. There's also growing perception of health benefits. I'm sure most of you have read articles, studies talking about the health benefits of wine. I'm not going to necessarily say whether those are right or wrong, but for sure there are more than enough studies that do show the health benefits of wine, and definitely a lot of people do take notes of that. The growth of wine tourism, of course, Sula has been the main driver of this, but just to put it in perspective, this year we expect to do over 1 lakh specific tastings with consumers at our winery, and just our single winery in Nashik. So when you think about it, compared to the number of people who are drinking wine today, you can see it's a huge number. And I think a large number of those people leave the winery being consumers, of wine, and being brand ambassadors for Sula. And favorable regulations, we have had very favorable regulations in the states of Karnataka and Maharashtra, and more states are starting to look at low alcohol as being preferential to spirits, and we're starting to see that more and more. And that has led to industry growth. So wine's CAGR has been much higher than spirits and beer in the 5 years from 14 to 19, and is expected to be much higher in the years starting now or last year. And we're seeing that already in what's happened over the last couple of years. So just a quick look at the wine market by volume. And also interestingly, within the wine segment, more and more of that share is going to the more premium segment, and that bodes really well for us, because people are starting to reach for more expensive Indian wines, which is a trend that is going to be very good for all Indian wine companies in the future. So you see the CAGR of what we call the elite segment being much faster than much higher than the rest of them. Quick look at our key strengths and strategies. So Sula's key strengths: we've been the established market leader now for over a decade, and we have by far the most recognized wine brand in India, by far and away the consumer's choice. We've been the leaders and pioneers of the wine tourism business here, which is of course also a very big part of our success. We have an operation, especially at Nashik, and now also in Karnataka, just outside Bangalore. So that's our second one, also at York, which is far ahead of all the rest of the wine tourism in India put together. We are the largest wine producer by quite some margin, and we have the biggest portfolio, and we have a very wide portfolio across all kinds of wines and also across all price points. So in Maharashtra, for example, our cheapest wine starts at 270 rupees and goes all the way up to around just below 2,000 rupees. So it's quite a wide range, and we are the market leaders in all those segments, that is elite, premium, economy, and popular. Sula is the market leader across the country in all segments. We have the largest wine distribution network. As you can imagine, building a distribution network for Alcobev in India, not the easiest thing, but Sula has managed to do it. And as Jaya was saying, we're in 25 states today, and hoping to even open 1 or 2 more soon. There are very high barriers of entry in this business. It's not so easy. Most of you must know somebody who has at some point opened a restaurant or an eatery, but opening a winery is a little bit of a different business. I mean, where do you start? So I would say that some pretty high barriers of entry just from starting to persuade farmers to plant grapes for you, not so easy, to putting up the winery itself and making good wine. So we have a secured supply of raw material. We typically have 12 to 15-year contracts with our grape growers. They are very happy. We've never had a dispute with any of our grape growers. These long-term contracts is something that Sula pioneered, a direct payment from company to grape grower, no middleman in the middle, and so the amount of remuneration that a farmer gets per acre of grapes is generally far in excess of anything else that they can hope to make, and therefore we have a line of farmers out the door asking us if they can plant for us. We had a very early adoption and focus on sustainability, and today that's really paying rich dividends. We have been the category creator, and this just shows a little bit of the market share with over 50%.